Okay, this is reviews by Collin, and I guess this isn't technically a review. It's more of a follow-up to my review of the movie Hunger Games. Okay, so movie Hunger Games. I hadn't read the book when I watched the movie, and to recap of that, I really dug it. Really dug the movie. I thought the movie stood well on its own. A lot of people talked about this was made for people who had read the book. I didn't get that feeling in the movie. That being said, I could see why they would say that, having now read the book. So I don't want to talk about the main differences. I think the differences are obvious. I'd like to talk about little characters. So we're going to talk maybe we'll do a couple of videos and talk specifically about characters. So let's start with Katniss Everdeen, I believe her name is. So Katniss, well, let's start with the movie. Katniss comes across in the movie quite naive, naive and almost simple. Fiery, yes, you get some of those scenes, especially when she shoots the apple out of the pig's mouth for the game makers when she's getting her rating. She does a good job. The gal who plays her, and I forgot her name, Gardner, I want to say. I don't. She does a good job of coming across both her kind of this steely sort of glint of Katniss and her refined side. I even say sexy, and they do a good job in this movie, making her beautiful, making her whatever when she needs to be, and making her less so when she doesn't. Katniss, that part of Katniss really comes out in the movie. When she's twirling on the stage with her fiery skirt, or when she's all done up. I mean, she looks good, and so they do a good job. I mean, she's a pretty girl. They do a good job of saying that. I remember hearing when the movie first came out that there were some problems with her casting because they felt like she was too healthy looking. She's not a tiny girl. She's not super skinny. The actress who name I just totally spaced, who plays Katniss, she's not this stick figure gal. I think she's attractive, but she's healthy. She's she's got a figure. She's got breasts. She's got a butt. I mean, she's, which I think more women should. So women out there who are watching this, that's attractive. You don't need to look like a guy. So where was I going with that? I guess my point kind of being is that they talk about her being destitute and kind of starving to death, but she also comes across pretty. So I don't think that was a problem. The main difference is you can see in Katniss's character, I think, is a function of that the book is told exclusively from her perspective. You are literally in Katniss's head. I don't like first-person tellings, especially first-person present tense. I think it's sloppy writing, but in this particular sense, it works. And there are books where I think it works really well. I'll give you a good example. I have a friend of mine who's an author who wrote a comedy that was kind of a office-type comedy. It was when he worked at a insurance company. And he tells it in first person, and I think he needed to do that to really get that comedy across, because the main character could comment. The comments of the main character really adds a modicum. It really adds a level of personalization, and I think that might have what been missing. I see Katniss's character in the movies versus the book as the one that is the most different because of that function of you're in her head. Katniss in the book is a game player. You don't realize how much subtlety in the game playing of trying to survive this Hunger Game in the first book. There's a lot of game playing that goes on in her case, that you don't see in the movie. You think that she's just kind of doing her thing when that's so not the case in the book. The transitions of the movie to the book. The scenes were all great. I think that was really good. But Katniss's character is definitely different from the movie to the book. Peeta, his love story, the love story between the two main characters, I thought in the movie that they were falling in love. If that was supposed to come across that she was game playing, it did not for me. I remember saying that in my review that was definitely the case, and that didn't come across. So they probably needed to do a better job of that, because I've heard that's a very significant portion of it. I don't know how you would have done that. Maybe taking more time in the cinematography, maybe taking more time in the... maybe just come out and say it. This is a game. You guys need to play up. You need to play up this love angle, and maybe they said it and I missed it. I don't know, but I don't feel like they changed that. They changed that. I don't feel that they showed that game playing, and that Katniss really is not thinking like that. When it comes to Peeta, which incidentally is a weird name, by the way. Weird name. That would be my main complaint. Otherwise, I thought the casting was good, and the characterization for what they had or what they did was relatively good. And I don't think that you had to read the book to enjoy the movie, to enjoy Katniss's character specifically. I'll get to some of the other characters, but I think the main difference you see is really in Katniss's. Again, I did like the book. I did enjoy it, even with those gripes that I have, and I'm not going to do a review of the book because it's so bleeding old. But I think they did a good job with it. Questions, concerns. This is reviews by Collin. It's not really a review, I guess. It's more of a discussions by Collin. If you see this, what did you think of Katniss's characterization? Am I missing anything? Did I miss something about her character that you felt was important? There's definitely story plots and story points that I felt were important with either timing. That I actually thought the movie did better, either with timing or with or presentation, that were different, that I thought were significant. Leave me a comment. I got links in the bottoms to, obviously, the Hunger Games, and to my stuff on Amazon. I've got a free run going right now on a dystopic fantasy that is very much in the same league, not league, that's not the word, same genre as Hunger Games, post-apocalyptic, kind of a little love story going on. Check it out. If you liked the Hunger Games, I think you'll like this book. Leave me a comment. What did you think of Katniss as a character from movie to book? Thanks a lot.